I'm Levi Fritz.
And I'm Courtney Fritz.
So we have a 20-year-old, we have a soon-to-be 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
We're crazy.
Yeah, two girls and a boy and 3 boys. So
I was working in an organization and getting heavily involved with like charity events and things like that for the organization as a group. And when I was doing that, I had a colleague that came up to me and said, "Have you thought about fostering?" When she said that, I was like, gosh, I'd never even considered it. Like, do you know a foster parent? She's like, yeah, my mom. So I ended up talking to her mom. And after that conversation, I was so like, wow, there's a need that I didn't even know there was.
I was on an ambulance call. So in this case, we were picking up a minor who had some behavior issues and needed to be checked into a hospital. And that just struck me, having to check this child into a hospital in Chicago, because I had no idea about that little kids would be checked into psych wards because they have mental issues from whatever happened in their childhood. And it just struck me. I was like, I want to get involved. So I came home and I told my wife, I want to get involved somehow. I don't know how that would look, but I want to get involved and like help out. I just feel like I want to help. And all I could do is just transport the kid. And then she started talking to me about foster care.
Yeah. It's kind of serendipitous, actually.
Yeah.
And our first placement in foster care in Illinois was 3 children. They were a sibling group. They didn't want to break them up.
So we went for gusto, like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just one, that gives us 3.
And we fostered them for about 2.5 years. And in that process, there were several like home checks. And again, like it's very invasive because they'll show up unexpectedly, disrupt your schedule. It's an enormous amount of work.
Or we had one child that also just never took a shower in a regular shower.
Yeah.
Only with a hose. And so we had to teach them how to shower or use the toilet the right way. And so some of the things you don't consider, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna help this child out. But you're like, I actually have to teach this child all the things. We would hear the phrase, this is what you signed up for.
Yeah.
A lot. Orchestrating all that while you're working, while you're maintaining your marriage, while you're maintaining your house, while you're doing all the things and trying to be healthy and maybe get some personal time if that's even a real thing anymore.
It changes your perspective. And when I originally went in, yes, I wanted to help, wanted to dive into the experience, I guess, but those 3 kids, like, I'm gonna cry. Those 3 kids changed my life. Like, I love those kids so much. Like, they are my kids forever, even if they're not in the system anymore. And they taught me that you have love and capacity in your heart for children that aren't yours. And they brought our marriage together. Like, we became better parents, we became a better couple, became stronger because, they needed that structure, and then we just got to follow suit. And when I think about it now, like, my vision for foster care is like its legacy. It's, looking back like at my funeral one day, if I had like a room full of kids that are now adults, that somehow we were able to like touch their lives, improve their lives for a short period or whatever, like I didn't know that I wanted that until I started fostering, so. The impact that Teaghlach Ranch makes to the foster care community and the foster families is kind of this hidden gem, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And foster parents are always pouring from an empty cup. They are always looking down deep to try to find whatever they have left. The parents are choosing to go through it and choosing to support these children, and really also deserve and are worthy of that recognition.
There's just not a lot of foster care community out there, and it just brings foster parents together that you can relate to, that you can, network with at this point and continue to be friends with, and, maybe just even have someone to talk to outside of the other person that you're going through it with, and they've gone through something as well. So being able to relate to them, having that community, being able to communicate with them, it's amazing.
It felt very on purpose. It felt very lavish, and it felt like we were being spoiled. That was really special because, there's a huge need, like, now. There's, 400,000 children in foster care and 200,000 licensed homes. So we're in a huge deficit. And one of the reasons that I think it's really important to fund charities like Teaghlach Ranch is because that deficit is because there's a need for foster parents to feel appreciated, to feel empowered, to feel confident that they can continue on. Because like 50% of parents that become foster parents quit within the first year. If you want to support children in foster care, the biggest way that you could support children in foster care is to support creating more foster parents.